Since the release of our newest documentary, Beware of the Noahide Laws, the FOY ministry has been attacked by the Rainbow Covenant website in their newsletter. This is what their Volume 6, Issue 2, January 2011 said.
We keep hearing from readers who ask, surprised, non-Jews aren't bound by the 10 Commandments? It's insulting to Noahides, supposedly, that non-Jews come under the 7 Commandments, instead of the 10. In fact, this insult is used to prove the proposition, in a new YouTube video that attacks us. They have to attack us to get at the 7 Noahide commands, that Jews regard non-Jews with nothing but contempt.
This group of people are so blind as far as to say that we are attacking them. They are so eager to say that we are attacking them when, in reality, they are the ones attacking all who are non-Jews. This belief that they hold is just as dangerous as, if not worse, than any other ethnic racist group in the world. Don't think that this group of people are more righteous than any other group of people. They also say in the same newsletter article.
By the way, did you know that Hitler was Jewish? He wasn't, but this video says so.
Actually, according to DNA tests, Hitler was very much so Jewish. Quoted from the Telegraph in the UK.
Adolf Hitler is likely to have had Jewish and African roots, DNA tests have shown. Saliva samples taken from 39 relatives of the Nazi leader show he may have had biological links to the subhuman races that he tried to exterminate during the Holocaust. A chromosome called haplogroup E1b1b1, which showed up in their samples, is rare in Western Europe and is most commonly found in the Berbers of Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia, as well as among Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews. One can from this postulate that Hitler was related to people whom he despised, Mr. Mulders wrote in the Belgian magazine, NAC. This is a surprising result, said Ronnie DeCourty, a genetics specialist at the Catholic University of Leuven. It is not the first time that historians have suggested Hitler had Jewish ancestry. His father, Alois, is thought to have been the illegitimate offspring of a maid called Maria Schicklgruber and a 19-year-old Jewish man called Frankenberger.
On Straight Dope we find the following.
In different Sunday and Hebrew schools, we all heard myths that Hitler was Jewish, and some said that his heritage, not the impending Allied victory, caused him to commit suicide. One stubborn boy insists that Hitler's father was at least half Jewish, and that young Adolf hated his father, causing him to translate his hatred into mass slaughter as an adult. Now for the weird stuff. After the war, Hitler's former lawyer, Hans Frank, claimed that Adolf told him in 1930 that one of his relatives was trying to blackmail him by threatening to reveal his alleged Jewish ancestry.
And the Huffington Post states the following.
Responsible for the slaughter of millions of Jews and a hero only to self-avowed racists, DNA tests apparently show that the Nazi dictator may have had Jewish and African ancestry.
This website here also shows Hitler's Jewish ancestry. Enough said, Hitler was Jewish. And now let us continue reading the Rainbow Covenant's newsletter.
As crazy and colorful as it is, unfortunately, we can't recommend it, this video, to most viewers.
That's right, they cannot recommend it because it proclaims the evil twisted truth of their scheme. Back to what they said about the documentary, Beware of the Noahide Laws.
It's not just verplutzt, and not just Christian, or Messianic. It's committed to dishonesty. For instance, it claims that we, First Covenant, and our book, Rainbow Covenant, and the Noahide themselves, stand for the proposition that every Gentile who trusts in Yahshua, their term for their God, or who otherwise violates even the least of the 7 Noahide commandments, must be punished capitally, by decapitation with a sword.
First of all, let me explain, we do not claim, or even state that Yahushua is God. Yahushua is the Son, and Yahuwah is the Father. According to the Noahide laws, any belief of a Messiah, you are considered an idolater. More on the Rainbow Covenants newsletter.
Like Bizarro World, it completely reverses everything that the 7 Noahide commandments and First Covenant actually teach, or stand for to condemn it. It attacks the exact opposite of the truth about the 7 Noahide commandments. It attacks the exact opposite of the truth about us.
There are no lies in our documentary. All we simply do is show the viewer the straight facts. We explain the laws and the facts that anyone can find. Most importantly, we even quote the disturbing statements the followers of the Noahide law state in excerpts from the Talmud. Back to the newsletter.
Crude lies aside, let's not fault people too much for feeling offended by having the 10 commandments snatched away from them. Even though, we must remember this, these folks don't actually want to do things like sanctify the Saturday, end of week Sabbath, that special sign between God and Israel, Exodus 31:15. Or accept the requirement to worship Hashem alone. Or, treat covetousness as crime.
It's very funny actually. These people have definitely not researched anything on our beliefs as we have researched their beliefs. Actually, we do observe the Saturday, end of the week Sabbath. We also accept the requirement to worship Yahuwah alone and treat covetousness as crime. We find it very odd that they are going as far as to attack us and state that we do not observe the Saturday, end of the week Sabbath. We do, however, according to the Rainbow Covenant book by Michael Dallin, we have no business keeping the Sabbath. The following can be found in the Rainbow Covenant, on pages 71 through 73.
If God doesn't command you, as an individual, to do something, don't say that He does. That sort of imitation is a sincere form of flattery which does no good. It happens in almost every generation, but it's an insult to God, to His Torah, and to Israel, and it has certainly, historically, caused endless amounts of trouble. These conceited Gentiles, having grasped some fraction of the Torah, soon conclude that they are masters of the whole Torah. They consider their understanding to be above Israel's. It's strange, but true that Bnei Noah often claim to be Israel, while denying the same status to Israel, their teachers. According to most authorities, the following, especially special holy signs that separate Israel from the nations, which solely concern Israel, and which only Israel may keep. Bnei Noah have no business keeping the Sabbath, rather than merely remembering and celebrating it, in the same way that the Jews are commanded to keep it, that is, by refraining from every kind of work and even from all cooking, except in life-threatening emergencies. This observance is a unique sign between God and Israel. Bnei Noah have no business keeping the other Jewish holidays, such as Sukkot, Tabernacles, or Shavuot, Pentecost, in the same manner as Jews, that is, with the Sabbath, by refraining from all work. Bnei Noah have no business writing a Torah scroll, a parchment scroll, like Israel's containing a Hebrew handwritten version of the 5 books of Moses. Bnei Noah have no business reciting anything, in prayer derived from the traditional prayers of Israel, that would constitute a lie, as by saying that God has commanded one to do something that He didn't command one to do, or by otherwise claiming falsely to have inherited and legacy of Israel. Bnei Noah have no business writing or posting a mezuzah, certain portions of the Torah, on the doorposts or gates of any structure. Bnei Noah have no business studying parts of the Torah, which, since they directly pertain only to Israel, have no bearing on any Gentile's obligations to God, nor much in the way of educational value regarding either his fear of God or his love of God. So it's not strange that many people, non-Jews, think the revelation at Sinai is addressed directly to them.
We suppose it just isn't strange that these people and all who support the Noahide laws think the revelation at Sinai is addressed directly to them and no one else. While we are on the subject of the Rainbow Covenant, just to prove that we are not lying, see some of the following inappropriate statements in their book, The Rainbow Covenant, that was published in 2003.
Several writers have said, in effect, that the notoriously harsh and unjust laws of benighted countries like ancient Syria, Rome, and Persia provide humanity with examples for enlightened Noahide courts to follow. Solemnly, they argue that Gentiles may properly enforce their own laws with horrible severity, and that the regular, statutory punishment administered by Noahide courts must always be capital punishment, the death penalty. This sort of ghastly misconception does little credit to the logic of the law. Analysis reveals the error. The key teaching is Maimonides, in his seminal work, the Yad HaChazika or Mishnah Torah, Hilchot Malakim, Law of the Kings. A Ben Noah who transgresses one of these 7 commandment laws shall be executed by the sword.
So what do they mean by execution by the sword?
Execution by the sword, this means, as the Torah teaches, that society shall effect the death penalty only by the quickest and least painful method possible, decapitation in one stroke.